Israel, meanwhile, taking hits in Tel Aviv and Haifa, halting air traffic control while workers take shelter. But Israel's stock market, it's moving the other way. In fact, the Tel Aviv 125 index posting 5 straight weeks of gains in the middle of all of this, rallying again yesterday, outperforming global peers despite these rising tensions. Joining me now is Andersen Capital Management's Chief Investment Officer, Peter Andersen. Peter, good to see you. Thank you so much for being here. Your reaction to markets this morning and how you think markets trade in the middle of all of this.
You know, Maria, it has been so difficult a year, hasn't it, for investors in general? Just all the items that you just summarized at the opening of this segment. And now we have this, which is so speculative right now. I mean, I think markets are very much struggling with trying to find a compass. But I have to be honest with you, in my opinion, I don't think there is available a compass right now until we get more data. So the question is for investors, you know, what do you do in the meantime? Do you hold on? Do you speculate in oil, depending upon if the situation is going to be diffused or if it will escalate? So it's very challenging for the average investor out there to make sense of this at a minimum, as it also is for professionals.
Yeah, I mean, I got to tell you, I disagree. I mean, you know, I've been thinking about this all weekend since this first broke out. And to me, it feels like the U.S. just took out a huge threat. I mean, I said to myself, I could see this market soaring. I don't know. Okay, we got a fractional move, a little, you know, people are cautious. We're not sure how to view this. But in my view, you take a look at the fact that the U.S. just took out one of the most important threats, and that is nuclear activity from the leading sponsor of terrorism. I would say you got to buy this market. And look at what's going on in Tel Aviv. 5 straight weeks of gains. Am I wrong?
I think you have to play this back, say, within 24 hours, and then we might know. But listen, I certainly, as you know, I am an optimist and a bullish investor most of the time through all these other crises. So I cannot disagree with you about the tremendous accomplishment. I think the question, the relying question is, how will Iran react? If they have a diplomatic solution, then things will de-escalate, and I think you are correct. However, we just don't know what the next step can be from them. And as your previous guest mentioned, you know, some of the worst case scenarios, I don't think we can ignore. Are they likely? I think they're unlikely. But still, I think a rational investor has to look at all the prospects out there, all the scenarios, and take your best opinion of what will happen.
Good morning, Peter. I think Marco Rubio said it best. The country most at risk from closing the Strait of Hormuz, which, by the way, is no easy task. We've seen weeks of Iran not being able to counter offenses from Israel and being basically inept, as they were on Saturday night, thank heavens. But why in the world would they cut off, which is effectively what they would be doing, their greatest sponsor right now? I mean, it doesn't make any sense to me. I think oil markets are a little more conservative or negative here than equity markets. I think that's kind of backwards.
Well, I also think that the oil factor from their perspective, it doesn't weigh as much now as it did historically. And certainly with the administration opening up oil production in this country, I'm not that much. I don't think it's that much a factor in terms of the risk of the whole situation. Oil prices have been fairly stable. Could they spike to 100? Maybe. But I think that would just be on pure speculation as to what will happen in the next 24 hours. I do think longer term, of course, the U.S. markets are strong. And I think the oil market will be stabilized based on the fact that the U.S. can counteract that.
Okay. Peter, thank you. Thank you so much for your insights. Let me just say that the risks are rising. Right now, the Israeli Defense Forces are striking with unprecedented force at the regime targets in Iran. We'll have the very latest going on as we speak in Iran by Israeli forces right now. We'll be right back.